everyone, my name is Casey and I'm a therapy intern at Community Partners, and today we're going to talk a little bit about stress. What is stress? So stress is your body's reaction to a challenge or a demand. Typically, this is some type of stimulus or stimuli from your environment. For some people, this can be feeling overwhelmed with their to-do list today, too many demands on them at work, a variety of different kinds of things going on there. Stress can be positive. It can be helpful when we kind of have stress. We have this feeling of stress, and it's a way for our body to communicate to ourselves that something's going on, and we need to really pay attention to that. Stress can help us avoid a dangerous situation. If your body's giving you some stress signals, if it sees something dangerous that could be happening around us, this can really help us meet a deadline for work. Sometimes stress can be as simple as feeling hungry, so we get up out of bed to have breakfast. All of these things are very important for keeping us safe and keeping us healthy. That is called acute stress. Chronic stress is something very different. Chronic stress is stress that lasts for a longer period of time. So when we look at situations where somebody can feel chronically stressed, that can kind of be surrounded by having a very stressful work environment, consistently and continually feeling stress. This could be having some financial difficulties that are lasting for longer periods of time, a stressful family dynamic. So we're looking at longer periods of time with chronic stress. And this is the type of stress that we really want to kind of pay attention to and kind of hone in on here. Anxiety can be triggered about stress. I just wanted to mention a little bit about anxiety. Anxiety and stress are two very different things. This recording is going to be surrounded about stress, but if you do want to learn some more about anxiety, I suggest you watch the video called The One Where I Was Anxious and Depressed, and you'll get some more information about anxiety in that video specifically. So what happens in our body when we feel stress? So when we're stressed, we are reacting to some type of stimuli. As I said before, our body produces hormones. Today, we're going to focus in a little bit more on two of the different types of hormones that the body produces. The two main hormones are called cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol is our stress hormone. So when we feel stress, here comes cortisol. Adrenaline is our fight or flight hormone. Our fight or flight hormone signals and it allows us to start to either battle something dangerous or escape to safety. So if folks are chronically stressed, our body can overproduce cortisol and adrenaline. So what does that look like for us? What that looks like is if our body produces adrenaline, it's sending a message to the rest of our body to get ready to either fight or to run away. So when that happens, our heart rate increases, our breathing rate increases. Some people, their cheeks get red, they might get sweaty. Usually digestion kind of stops, our blood flow increases to our extremities to get us ready to fight or flight. When we look at cortisol and we look at chronic stress and overproducing cortisol, there can be a lot of different kind of damaging things that happen to our bodies if we're not really mindful about this. And that can include migraines, that can include depression, hostility, feeling tired all the time, lack of sleep. So kind of this variety. So when we couple cortisol and adrenaline together, and we have so much of this happening because we're chronically stressed, sometimes we stop really acknowledging what feels stressful and what doesn't, because we're always kind of tense and on edge. And we're always producing these hormones. So we start to have these long-lasting effects on our bodies. This can really cause heart disease, because if we think about our heart rate being increased all the time, in addition to maybe having a decreased metabolism, decreased immune system, poor health, maybe not making healthier eating choices, lack of sleep. Here starts to come in some issues with our heart, issues with our blood pressure, issues with our breathing. And we also start to look at some mental health issues that can come up here, such as anxiety and depression. So while stress can be very healthy for us and can motivate us to move forward and to meet a deadline or to get food when we're hungry or go to work when we need to pay our bills, having chronic stress can really have some negative side effects to our bodies. So this is something that we really want to pay attention to, and we kind of want to start to learn how to relax. Our next slide, we talk a little bit about relaxation techniques. So I'll give some examples of different types of techniques that people use, and then I'll give a little bit of general information about relaxation. So relaxation techniques and stress management, these things can be pretty personalized for folks. It depends kind of on what they find to be relaxing. For some people, if they're feeling very stressed out, they might listen to music to kind of calm down and unwind. Other folks might prefer to take a hot bath and sit in silence and quiet, and they might find that to be more relaxing. Some people might need to go get some extra sleep. Other people might feel more comfortable talking to some friends about some things they have going on. So there's a great variety of different things that people can kind of do. And what's really important here is we set aside some time in our daily lives to practice some of these relaxation techniques. And this can help us for a number of different reasons. First, this can help us in being able to kind of figure out what works for us in regards to relaxation. If I try and practice different and new things, I know what's going to work for me and what isn't going to work for me. And in the moment of extreme stress, I want to grab the tool from my toolbox that I know is going to work. Another really important piece of this is being able to shave in a little bit of time every day to practice relaxation. This helps us to be more mindful. This can help us if we're walking into a stressful environment or like I said before, kind of in that heat of the moment, we know what to kind of grab on to. This can also really prevent some stress from happening. We also all have smartphones, and some people find using smartphone applications to be very helpful in ways to kind of relax and manage stress. There's a lot of different apps that have mindfulness meditations. Some of them have nice, really great visuals to help people focus on their breathing. Some people even like playing a game on their phone. There's a lot of different options and variety with smartphone apps to help us with relaxation. And sometimes it's easy just to bring a pair of headphones. And if you're having a moment where you're feeling really, really stressed and you're kind of boiling, to pop your headphones in and listen to a little bit of meditation might help you kind of center. And it's something you can do relatively quickly. You can kind of do that in your office or in your home. You can take 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and to kind of use that to relax a little bit more. Sometimes relaxation techniques can be pretty quick like that. Sometimes other things might take a little bit longer. I know some people that have worked up to practicing breathing exercises for over an hour, but just starting by using a few minutes at a time. And that doesn't mean that you have to do breathing exercises for more than an hour or more than 10 minutes. But some people prefer to really kind of get in the zone and to do that. So a lot of this is some self-exploration and figuring out really what works for you. Um, Practicing self-care is very important here. On our stress management list, we have exercise, we have getting more sleep, socialization. So when we have self-care, this is another important piece. You might find that on the days that you don't sleep as well, or maybe days that you skipped breakfast or lunch, that maybe you're a little bit more irritable and maybe you're not handling stress the way in which you normally would if you had some proper self-care. I mean, we're human, and some nights we don't sleep as well. Some nights or days, maybe we do forget to have breakfast or time gets a little bit crunched. So having that awareness of, okay, I know that if I don't have my breakfast, this is kind of what happens. But this really reminds us about the importance of self-care and the importance of setting aside that type of time to have something quick to eat in the morning or making sure we're getting a full night's sleep. That we're eating healthy, balanced meals, that we have exercise. And exercise can be as simple as taking a walk. Other people like things that are a little bit more intense. Some people do yoga. Exercise is really wonderful. As I talked about in our last slide, when you have a lot of stress, you have a lot of adrenaline. And exercise is a great way to bring adrenaline levels down. So that can be something that somebody could do in the heat of the moment if they're feeling really, really stressed out. Taking a quick walk or even doing a few jumping jacks can kind of help your body chemistry in dealing with that stress. Another option that we have in looking at kind of relaxation is called mindfulness. Mindfulness is a type of meditation in which you focus on being intensely aware of what you're sensing and feeling in that moment without judging or trying to interpret those types of things. So when we look at mindfulness, some of the different options we have for exercises, and this is just a small list, there are many others, usually starts with deep breathing. Some people find deep breathing to be very relaxing when they have a heat of the moment stressful situation. That can be a few minutes of just really focusing in on your breathing. Some people like what's called square breathing, where you breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale through your mouth for 4 seconds, and hold it for 4 seconds. And then you would continue that process. Really focusing in on your breathing can help if you're in a moment of feeling very stressed and maybe that's triggering some anxiety for you and your breathing is becoming rapid. Focusing and doing deep breathing can help you kind of take control of that process with your breathing and slow down your heart rate as well. Progressive muscle relaxation and body scanning meditations are two things that people do when they're feeling stressed out. There are also a few things that people do on a day-to-day basis. Some people find that pairing muscles and using this type of relaxation technique where you pair two muscles, like your calf muscles on each leg, and you tense them up very tight and hold that for 5 seconds, and then you release. And you start from your toes and you work all the way up through your head, including your hands. So as you pair the muscles, you start with your toes, pairing your toes, squeezing, holding, and releasing, and continuing to move up. A lot of people do that before bedtime, and some people focus on doing some deep breathing when they wake up first thing in the morning. Some other tools that people can use are visualizing things, using visualization, different types of mindfulness meditations, mindfulness exercises. So when we kind of are going for a hike and we're mindfully exercising, we're really engaging in what we're doing. We're not really focusing on what happened today or the stressful events. We observe the thoughts as they come and you kind of let them float away like a balloon. And you really try to engage in what you're doing mindfully. Some people like to do yoga. Some people like to do Tai Chi. There are a number of different types of mindfulness exercises that can be done when you're feeling stressed. And once again, that daily kind of practice of these things can really be helpful in the heat of the moment when you are feeling like, oh man, I'm really stressed out. What can I do? In that moment, you don't want to be trying all kinds of new things. You kind of want to know, what can I do to calm down? And you can kind of pick from your toolbox. In our next few slides, I'm going to take you through some mindfulness, different exercises. You can have this recording to try these exercises in the comfort of your own home, or you can just kind of listen in and get an idea of what mindfulness exercises are kind of like. In this first one, we're going to do what's called a visualization exercise. So you can either focus in on this picture, or I will also make it an option that you can kind of close your eyes and visualize your own image. I'm going to focus around using the beach. We always start with focusing in on your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. You can gaze at the photo in front of you, or you can close your eyes and visualize the beach. As you're standing on the beach, you feel the sand between your toes, a cool breeze touches your skin and your hair, and the sun is beginning to rise. While you continue breathing, you see a beautiful array of colors in the distance. The bright colors around the sun, of the clouds, a little bit darker towards the edges. You see the trees in the distance, blowing and swaying in the breeze. You smell the fresh ocean smell as the waves begin to crash against your calves. You feel the cool water brushing against your legs and the sand between your toes as you walk forward, leaving footprints in the sand behind you. You hear a bird calling out in the distance, flying away until it's out of sight. You turn and look back to the sun as it's slowly rising, and you see the bright colors filling the sky, pinks and oranges. As the sun continues to rise, you feel its light slowly hitting your legs and arms. The trees continue to sway in the breeze. The water crashes against your legs, almost inviting you in for a swim. As you continue breathing, you may open your eyes when you are ready. So that's an example of a visualization type of mindfulness. Often they start with the breathing, like I said, really kind of trying to get centered, and then kind of using your senses throughout the process. If you're using visualization, trying to think about what you see, what you hear, what you can kind of feel, what you can touch, what you can smell. It can really be very helpful for having that full visual process. Our next meditation, I'm going to read a meditation for you out of a meditation book. And it's called Check Your Breathing. And it's about observing your deep breaths, your different breathing. Breath is life energy. When we restrict our breathing, we diminish our life energy. Feeling agitated and indecisive is often accompanied by shallow breathing. We use this technique to enhance your breathing. Deep breathing expands the lungs, which then send a direct message to your heart, which in turn starts beating slower. Take a moment to get closer to your breathing, to befriend it. Is it shallow or deep? Slow or fast? Smooth or rough? Regular or irregular? Do you tend to push it or to hold it? Focus on your breathing. Continue to befriend it and explore it. If you continue to explore your breathing with this curiosity, you will get good insight into where you are now. From this baseline, you can notice any differences. If you continue to watch your breathing, you can experience a more energetic self and achieve joy and a zest for life again. So as you open your eyes and kind of come back from our meditation here, this can be self-guided meditation, if you can remember, but really the kind of that point is focusing on your breathing. Kind of having that mind-body connection is really important when we look at this. We think about, what is our breathing telling us? Is our breathing shallow? Is it rapid? What's kind of going on with our bodies? And to really kind of hone in on that and use that to kind of focus on your breathing and to relax yourself a little bit by trying to control your breathing, which impacts your heart rate. So those are a few examples of different meditations that you can use. You can always come back to this video if you want to listen to me guide them, or you can start to explore some other meditations that you might find useful for yourself. Thank you everybody for coming and watching our video today. And I hope that this information is useful for you.